everybody, and welcome to Stellos Stadium in Nashua as we start Battle of the Bridge Week between Nashua High South and Nashua High North. We will begin with field hockey. I'm John Collins along with Tom King. We got the A team from Nashua ETV to bring you this evening's game, which was moved up from a 6 o'clock start to a 5 o'clock start due to the threat of inclement weather. There's high scoring, there's clutch scoring, there's low scoring, and then unfortunately, Tom, as you were telling me before the game, 0-7 teams.
No scoring. Exactly.
You called it.
Yeah,
wow.
2-0-7.
No scoring.
Yeah, 2-0-7 teams, and no one has scored. I haven't seen that in a long time.
You know how they do the stick checks before the game? They should check
do that.
these sticks.
They
for
do
goals.
that in lacrosse, John. They don't do that in field hockey.
Oh, they don't?
No, not that
That's
I know
lacrosse.
of.
You're right.
Seen it.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
lacrosse.
I think we should implement one.
But Nashua North,
goal scoring stick.
You know, Nashua South is more than what I'm surprised at. But you know, they lost. Caitlin West was a really good scorer. Solid score. A couple of years ago, she had 5 goals in the
called
opener.
Her name.
Yeah,
wow.
Exactly. So she's not around. You know, she's graduated. So, you know, they left a void. You know, graduation is a 4-letter word when it comes to high school sports.
Especially when the word is West and she's gone West and she's gone. So we need a goal scorer here today, and that would be a big event.
The two players you're looking at under the microscope right now, the two goaltenders, Caitlin Tello for Nashua South, who's very. I mean, they're both very good. And the other thing is Abigail O'Malley for Nashua North. First year playing goal. She's a junior. And there are a lot of freshmen on this North team. New coach Zoe Philibrown, who played with North back in the late teens. I think she graduated in 2018. According to her, she's looked it up, they haven't won a game since she was a senior.
Wow.
So North has really struggled. The problem, John, is the feeder system. Not many kids are playing field hockey at the middle school level. So, you know, it's Phila Brown has had to, not recruit, but she's had to get some kids out there that are first-year players that have never played the sport before. Meanwhile, Nashua South, they've had a pretty established program, but they've struggled over the years in terms of trying to advance and make inroads. North, John, we did some games back about 10 years ago, not even 10 years ago, I'd say about when Phila Brown played, back even 2014-15, that were very good. So North was a very good team. They were a tournament team. So, but that's not the case anymore, and we are underway here at Stellos. John, I'll go down and shoot the still photos, and I'll be back up hopefully at the end of the first quarter.
Thank you, Tom King. Hurry back. North is in the dark uniforms. They have the Carolina blue tops, and South is on the screen to your left wearing it looks from distance like gray and purple this evening. Again, a 6 o'clock start would be. It's moved up to 5 o'clock because of the forecast calling for maybe some lightning mixed in after 7. So we'll keep an eye on the sky here on the banks of the Nashua River. And also, we'll be looking for the game's first goal, the season's first goal for both of these teams here. Both teams are in game number 8 on the season. Field hockey, difficult sport to master as far as the rules. There's a lot of rules in field hockey, and the referees on the pitch, they need to be very astute as to the rules, and not only a lot of rules to master, but also a lot of subjectivity in the flow of play, whether a ball's a dangerous hit or not above the knees in traffic, and also, to make sure that goal-scoring hits are taken within the 16-yard arc, the D they call it, surrounding the goal, the front of the goal on either side. So we'll see if North or South can break the goal-scoring drought of the season, and wouldn't that be something if both teams could score today in the Battle of the Bridge opener for us here on Nashua ETV. We have Tim O'Neill on camera, and also the camera crew, including Dylan Smith and Bruce Hillsmeyer, joining us here in Nashua ETV on kind of a blah day here in Nashua. Cloudy and a hint of fall in the air, and also a hint of rain in the forecast. So North wins that foul call there, and they have a chance to advance the ball in a push, but it's immediately intercepted by South, trying to go back on the attack here in midfield play. There's a flick pass that makes its way out of bounds off a north stick, so a fortunate bounce there for South as they gain some real estate, hoping to go down and score on North goaltender Abigail O'Malley, who's wearing pink and 00 on the screen to our right. Be nice to get her into the picture. That would mean that we're closer to that elusive first goal of the season for South. And same thing, Caitlin Tello, the goaltender for South on the screen to your left. So we'll see if she'll be tested today at all with any kind of a penalty stroke, maybe, penalty corner, or shot in the course of regular play. Far sideline, pushing and dribbling the ball forward. And it goes out of bounds off of the South player, number 4, Erin Flaherty. Spoke with one of the South proud parents before the game. Jake Hart, his daughter Wiley, is in the lineup as a freshman, and that is a class of 2026 player. It's amazing to see that figure on a roster for me as we enter the fall sports season here and a new school year. They keep pushing those numbers higher on the graduating classes, and pretty soon we're going to be at 2030 and a day not far off. Just getting up in the stratosphere as far as the dates. But that's a 4-year high school career away for Wiley Hart and some other freshmen who are in this contest. Certainly a great sport to get your exercise, as there's a huge pitch, 1.125 acre to cover here in field hockey. 100 yards long. Good hit in the middle, and a goal scoring opportunity for South. That ball lifted a little bit over the knees. And what do we have? We have a penalty corner called that favors South a chance here. So you got 5 players in the goal for North, and South will have the setup taken by Karina O'Donnell. The end line to your right. She centers it, trying to move it into the goal-scoring circle and unable to do it. Another whistle goes against North defender Caitlin Fry, trying to intercept that ball, got whistled. And walking the ball to the center is Elizabeth DeRusha, who is a fine soccer player. We saw her earlier this year over at Riviere pitching, and star of that game. A lot of pitches thrown in that game. It's a completely different sport here, but the competition level certainly up there for South and North in rivalry week here. We're going to be doing field hockey, soccer, volleyball, and football on Friday. South versus North, right back here at Stellos. South retrieving the ball in quarter number 1. If you heard the preamble, it's probably needless to say we're scoreless, but maybe not for long. There's a nice save made by Abigail O'Malley, forced to come up with it as it was bound for the back of the cage. Kicked it aside, and still South ball on the attack in the offensive zone, ratcheting up the pressure, looking for the game's and the season's first goal. There's a good long hit, and it's in. It's from outside, though. It's from outside the goal-scoring D, and by field hockey rules, because it was not tipped in by a South player, it doesn't count. It needs to come inside that arc that's 16 yards away from the goal. I believe it's a red arc that you can see possibly on the screen as one of 2. And there's another long hit. This one's deflected in front. Looks like it got a piece of Krista Reed, forward, number 1 for South. That ball's intercepted nicely. Good step up by number 23, Brady Murray. And Brady plays it on ahead to Marin Lowell. Marin, a sophomore in the corner, centers it. North desperately trying to clear this ball. They've been under defensive pressure for the last 10 minutes, it feels like. And by field hockey rules, only one player can engage the dribbler, the stick handler. And so I think that was a double team that was whistled there that favored North. Not able to control it, though, and advance out of their own half of the field. So South will take over again on possession of the field hockey ball. Elizabeth DeRusha with a nice up-ahead push pass to Krista Reed off of her stick, and teams trading possessions now with 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Elizabeth DeRusha has had a lot of touches, number 24 for South, teaming up there with Marin Lowell. That whistle went against the Panthers, and this one is going to be also against South. So North trying to advance into the offensive zone. Number 6 is Ava Susi, who's playing the ball here. Ava passing it laterally, nearly intercepted by Karina O'Donnell, number 5 for South. Ball makes its way to the far sideline, and North finally gets the ball into the offensive zone over the south half of the field. But South quickly making life difficult for the North players who are trying to advance it, and the Panthers take it back. Elizabeth DeRusha very good with those long slap hits that eat up a lot of real estate and shift the field. Going with the backhand, the tomahawk dribble here are the Titans. Not allowed body contact there on Sarah Weintraub. Good job, number 19 for North to steal that and advance it. And Sarah's going to shoot this one. Actually hits the stick, it looked like, of her teammate Caitlin Monroe, but gets whistled for a dangerous hit. Elizabeth DeRusha looking for a seam. She likes to do those slap hit passes to advance. That one time she ran into a lot of traffic, and South, good job hustling. The back checking by South has been remarkable in this, and especially by Marin Lowell, number 6. She's intercepted a lot of North passes and setting up her teammates from the right wing. Krista Reed, number 1 in the middle, nearly had an opportunity to take that one to the house, but ball whistled again, and North takes possession. Got a lot of play right in this area right here, which favors Nashua ETV. We get a good look at the midfield play, favoring South as it's on the north side of the field. You got a flat side and a curved side on these field hockey sticks. You're only allowed to play the ball with the flat side. That whistle favors South. DeRusha looking for a seam again. Good intercept by North as they play that ball. When you hit it hard in traffic like that, it has to stay on the turf or they'll whistle it as a dangerous hit. Dribbling it near sideline for North is Caitlin Monroe, number 2. She did a good job advancing it, but whistle favors South. Nice long hit. Krista Reed on the receiving end of it, but she's got 1-on-3. Krista shifts to her left. Good move. Back to her right. Kicks it on ahead and through traffic. Almost an opportunity for the winger, number 4, Erin Flaherty, to flick one home as she was basically one-on-one with the goaltender if that ball had made its way through to number 4 on the far left wing in the gray shirt. That was South's opportunity knocking there, and Abigail Murray would have been forced to make another save. She's had one great save already in this game. One ball did make it past her. It was about a 40-yard shot from a great distance by Elizabeth DeRusha that made its way into the right side of the net, but disallowed because you must score in field hockey from within the 16-yard scoring circle, the D area. which goes about, well, you can see it's the far semicircle dark line on the screen there that just gets outside the 15-yard line on the football gridiron. Ball dribbling near sidelines, opportunity for South to advance. Sticks clash between number 10 for South. Not listed. Skipped over number 10 on our roster here, but I do see a player on the field wearing that. Apologies for that. And number 6 is Ava Susie for North, who has a chance. It goes under her stick, and Marin Lowell, number 6 for South, plays it on ahead. That whistle favors the Panthers. DeRusha with it, looking for an opening to advance the ball. Finds it to the back line, and it's out. From my reading of the rule, when it goes out the back line like this, they put it in a spot perpendicular to where it went out, and then they restart right there at about the 15-yard line. But an immediate steal by South, putting the pressure back on. Ball went over the end line, and again, perpendicular to where it went out, and at the 15 they spot it, and that's the restart spot, is how they do it in field hockey. Different from lacrosse, different of course from basketball, where it automatically goes to an out of bounds to inbounds throw in. DeRusha with it, far sideline. She's been everywhere on the pitch from her defensive position, getting a lot of touches, going down the far sideline with it. North is there to intercept, and South returns the favor as they steal away possession. Under a minute to go, 42 seconds, a push into the middle, coming way out of the goal is Abigail O'Malley. O'Malley kicks it away, and we have a whistle. What is this? Another penalty corner coming up for South. This is with only 25 seconds left. The clock does not stop on that whistle. Be interesting what happens here, whether they have to take a break before they complete the execution of this corner kick. It looks like the clock's going to tick down. 10 seconds, though. We resume. That whistle's going to take us to the end of the quarter. Another restart on the penalty corner. See what happens. They're going to play through. No time on the clock after the first quarter. DeRusha, when the ball comes back. Oh, there's a high one, and it goes in. And they're going to count it. It's a goal for South, not just a goal to take a lead in this game, but it is the first goal of the season. And I believe the goal will go to Karina O'Donnell, number 5. Karina O'Donnell makes South field hockey history here in 2022. The answer to the trivia question, who scored the team's first goal 8 games in? 1-0, and that's a monumental goal in this game, as the over-under for goals scored had to be 1. Both teams 0-7 and scoreless to this point in the season. That goal coming with no time left on the clock in the end of the first quarter. So we'll have to get all important confirmation on the goal score to make sure it in fact was. I have number 5 also. Thank you, Tim O'Neill. Our eagle-eyed cameraman saw the same. Number 5, Karina O'Donnell for South. It was a shot that was legal in that I think it was about a few inches off the ground, but it definitely got deflected on the way in, probably off the stick of a North defender, and it jumped up and went into the goal about waist high to the right side of Abigail O'Malley. So the pressure was intense there by South on offense, and they finally broke through. Doesn't hurt to get kind of a lucky bounce or deflection when you've been scoreless for that long. 1-0, South leads the Battle of the Bridge field hockey game as we get set for the start of the second quarter. Reading up on my field hockey before this one, people may notice if you happen to see field hockey telecast on a national stage, they took the goal down 0-0. Why was that? Wow. Interesting. Is that because it was scored not in the second quarter and they were supposed to take a break? I'm confused as all get out now, Tim. There was a huge celebration. I wasn't crazy. They had a big celebration for a goal that apparently, according to our scoreboard, now does not exist. Wow. And nobody's mic'd up down on the field like in the NFL so they can say, this is what happened. And this is why it still says 0-0 on the scoreboard, despite that wild goal-scoring celebration which you just witnessed at the end of the first quarter. Wow. If it's because, it can't be because the quarter ended and it was there was no time left, because they just redo it. So something went against the rules apparently. Maybe it was the height that the ball traveled through traffic and went into the goal. And maybe in the end it was on review called a dangerous hit. Here comes the answer man right now. Here comes the man we need to solve this mystery of why it still says 0-0 on the scoreboard.
The initial shot off the corner was ruled to be too high. So the whistle should have blown and stopped. Now, whether or not the referee went back and thought about it after Zoe Villabrown talked to him or not, I don't know. I didn't see him go like this, did you?
I saw him point good goal.
Right, so did I.
Exactly, that's what I saw.
So did I.
Upon review.
So
that'd be like coming over and asking Bill Belichick, was that a good touchdown?
Yeah,
though,
exactly.
During the course of a game.
Well, you saw Zoe Villabrown out there talking to him.
Yes, and she
right?
knows the rules.
Right, because the quarter had just ended.
Yep.
And she went and talked to him. And so I had a great celebration. Kids were jumping in the air. I had a great photo.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah, I can't use it.
You know what? Why not?
I'll figure it out.
Why not? It's news to me that they had a goal-scoring celebration and then no goal, which you have a photographic proof of.
Unbelievable.
The non-goal scorer was Karina O'Donnell.
Right,
by
Karina
the way.
O'Donnell off Lizzie. Was it Lizzie's corner, original corner?
Yeah. Now here comes a penalty corner. South with another opportunity.
This is about their 8th one, I believe.
Yes, they've had tremendous pressure on North's defense since almost the game started. There's another dangerous hit. That one's called against Marin Lowell, number 6, who's had a lot of touches. Good
so
player.
You see who's ahead of who in terms of knowing the game and ability. And I mean, South is ahead of them, and have been for the last few years.
Even though the scoreboard right now and the standings don't reflect it, but in this game, it's clear. We've been looking to the right.
I think if you played it 10 times, it would still be the same thing, because these North kids are still learning the game, learning where to position themselves, learning how to get, and I did a story on them last week.
Marin Lowell trying to track it down.
And Philibrown explained to me that basically what she's doing is she's piecemealing the game to them. Okay?
Yeah.
So every game they ask the kids to tell them what their goals are in the game, what they're working on, and then at the end of the game they award a GOAT of the game. I hate that term. I think it's used way too often.
Yeah.
But and whoever had met their goals, had done what was taught, leading into the game, and had excelled at it, whatever category it was in. So a kid who might have scored 4 goals may not have been the GOAT of the game. You never know, depending on what their strategy was. But that's how Zoe Philibrown is approaching it. But I'll tell you what, John, I came here last week to talk to her about her program because she's a new coach, and they lost 8-0 to Concord and you would have thought they won the game. They were thrilled with how they played. And I attribute that to her. Oh, look at this. This is going to be a one-on-one right here, almost. Good defense to get over there and stop it.
Erin Flaherty, number 4, was the one with the opportunity. It goes right past her. Shot by Marin Lowell, and it gets deflected out of bounds.
See,
what I saw on that non-goal by Karina O'Donnell was...
It wasn't O'Donnell's shot. It was the original shot off the penalty corner that was ruled too high.
Oh, okay.
Not O'Donnell's shot.
Wow, that's getting technical.
I'll have to talk to the coaches after the game to see what they think about it.
Elizabeth DeRusha, our softball pitcher, Tom. She's been getting a lot of touches here, number 24 for South.
Three-sport athlete, basketball, field hockey, softball. Senior year, big year for her.
She wears it on her back. Oh, no, 24, excuse me, 22 would be her year. I'm seeing some high numbers in these rosters now, Tom. 2026 class of in the game.
Boy, it makes you feel old, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It really does. Once we start seeing 30, then 30s, then we're
right around the corner. I mentioned that.
We're really in trouble.
Good intercept. South trying to make something out of it. North has trouble stringing passes together, Tom.
Yeah, that's a sign of a young team that's learning how to play the game, right? You know, and they're not going to be dead. I think if Tello faces more than 2 or 3 shots, I'll be surprised if she gets to that many.
That's the key to winning in rectangular sports, stringing passes together.
You know, the big thing is to get the younger players here who aren't playing in this game to see it. And there's a few down here right now, JV. I'm not sure if it's JVs for South or not, or if it's a middle school team. But that's what you want here, right? You want the younger kids to see it. They do have clinics in the summertime. Usually run by, I think, both coaches in tandem.
Yep.
You know, because, the way things have been with the programs, their first goal is to promote the sport and get kids interested. Because high school is still all about the numbers, John. It really is.
Good play by, she got whistled there. I thought Krista Hart was off to the races. Krista Reed, number 1, but.
She's been very active on offense for Nashua South, no question about it.
Another non-goal we saw, Elizabeth DeRusha from about 30 yards away with the long hit, but you're not allowed to score outside.
Outside the penalty circle.
Right, the 16-yard semicircle.
So see, no one.
That went all the way in untouched.
Yeah, no one deflected it. Yeah. So that's
got to tip it in.
Yep.
And it would count.
You know, the whistles are not as frequent, believe it or not. I know a lot of whistles.
What?
They're not as frequent as they were, 10, 15 years ago. I've covered this sport.
They're letting them play a little more.
I've covered this sport since 1983. And back then, there was probably a whistle every 10 seconds. It was really, really difficult to cover the sport. Really difficult.
A lot of stops.
I'll tell you what, but I'll tell you what has improved the sport and the flow of the game. What we're looking at
turf.
What we're looking at right now, field turf.
Oh, boy, yeah.
But I'll also.
It's hard enough to control in field turf.
But I'll also tell you, take a team off their field turf and put them on grass, and they're stuck.
Trouble.
And you know what, John? I'm seeing that in a lot of different sports.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen it in not so much lacrosse, but I'm seeing because the ball, although the ball is on the ground, you got to be able to pick it up. I'm seeing it in football.
Wow.
The exception being what Bishop Girton did this weekend to Goffstown.
All right.
This past weekend. Girton, a turf team, I always think that gives a team a little trouble because
Tell you what, didn't slow the Dolphins down yesterday.
No, sure. Well, they play on turf in Baltimore.
Oh, it was in?
Yeah, Baltimore was in Baltimore.
It was in Baltimore?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Ravens home opener.
Wow. Take that back.
That's a huge oops, huh?
That was 6 touchdowns and unbelievable offense.
Well, that and how the Browns coughed it up against the Jets.
Oh, a lot of games.
And Vegas against Arizona.
I was going to play the comeback card in this game,
well,
Tom,
see,
but
that's
it's still 0-0.
That's how important the Patriots holding the ball for the last 6.5 minutes was.
Yeah,
right?
that was really
Yeah,
something.
But this game, I mean, once you see a goal here,
It's like the goal, right?
Yeah, and
the golden goal.
You saw the celebration when South thought they had scored.
And that was all in.
That's really tough to.
They took it off.
Take it away. That's really tough.
Teams battling for possession, mostly on the north side of the field, as we're
looking
5:40 away from halftime.
Our necks are swiveled and locked in to the right side.
Yeah. Lonely goaltenders, Caitlin Tello off screen to your left.
Yeah, she's not used to this, John.
Oh, really?
No, she's not used to this.
And an 0-7 team, yeah.
0-17, and they give up a lot of shots, so.
Night off for Caitlin almost.
Well,
right now.
I mean.
You never know, but.
Yeah.
I mean, North hasn't even really got a sniff on the goal over here.
No.
On the left.
No, I know it.
South keeping the pressure on. Marin Lowell's going to sprint, catch up to this and push it on ahead. Dribble, pass, shoot is the name of the game, and that time I guess they called it a dangerous hit.
Yeah. Well, I've seen shots in the air that have not been called dangerous hits. So.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a different game. I'll tell you who's just as lonely as the goalie for North or for South is Tello. I'll tell you who's just as lonely.
Who?
The ref on the other side.
Oh, there's a ref over there.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like, what am I doing here?
Right.
I haven't had to rule on anything. What if they'll switch up in the second half? Centering pass, North trying to make something of it.
Titans had a couple of really good players a year ago. Their goalie was good. They also had a senior who was a forward who was really good. And then, so they played a couple of ties. They were, competitive in some games, but then mostly not in others. However, this year's team, it's almost as if she's starting from scratch.
Oh, yeah.
So
North's Molly Ducharme, number 1, and Annabelle Watt, number 9, figuring in the battle for possession far sideline as Molly Ducharme flicks it, goes up in the air. North with it, taken away. Krista Reed pushes it on ahead twice, gains ground. Krista Reed, far sideline. Trying to put the brakes on, go back to the middle. Good play. Set up her teammate for possibly to steal that one away in close, but North's defense looking good on that play. South through traffic, finds its way to an open wing, trying to track it down. I believe that's Krista Reed. Yes, it is. Tries to center it. Grady Murray, number 23, loses it. Gets it back. Number 17 for South is Alexa Farrell. Alexa Farrell doing a good job of pushing it toward midfield. Elizabeth DeRusha asking for a ruling, but instead it's out of bounds off of the Panthers. Number 6, Ava Susi. Ava hits one towards the middle.
She's one of the few seniors, I believe, on this team. She was the go to the game after
class of 2023. Yep.
Yep.
So getting down to the 2-minute mark.
Goes by fast in field hockey, that's for sure.
We'll let it roll. Krista Reed, one player to beat there for a lot of real estate.
Especially when there's no scoring to stop the clock.
Yeah.
Right?
That goal that was taken off the board came after time had expired between the first and second quarters. Corinne O'Donnell thought she had it, thought she had that golden goal, first goal for either team in 8 games, and was taken off the board because the initial penalty shot strike was too high, a dangerous hit before Karina's goal-scoring shot that caused a wild celebration that Tom has photographic evidence of, but Not sure if he's going to use it tomorrow or not. If it's a 0-0 game, I would.
Check after midnight at NashvilleTelegraph.com. You'll find out the answer.
All right.
You know, there may be another celebration shot. I can zoom
It could
in.
wipe out the one you have.
I could zoom in from up here. It won't be
Sure.
quite as good, but it'll be, it'll be usable. But we'll see. And don't forget, there is overtime, sudden death overtime in this sport. I believe, I'm not mistaken, it's it's either a 10 or a 5-minute period, or 2 5s. I'm not sure.
I'm all in favor of 3-on-3 for that overtime.
They do reduce, John.
They do?
We did a game here.
All right.
They went to overtime with North and South, and they do reduce it. Yep.
And does Alex Ovechkin get involved?
No.
No.
I like that 3-on-3 in the NHL. It's
Yeah, I
pretty
do.
good, isn't it?
It was a great innovation, man. That's an exciting.
It is an exciting overtime. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm glad they don't do it for Stanley Cup play, though. I
Right.
don't believe in doing that.
Yeah,
So,
it's the right, just the right amount of innovation. That was definitely a dangerous hit, but somehow they let it go. I think one's like waist high.
Depends on the stick level. Depends on. Oh, here's a chance right here for South.
Krista Reed trying to work her way through traffic. And that's the end of the quarter.
Yep,
and the half.
not quite. If she'd be able to weave around maybe to her left and have an open shot once, but you got to get in that penalty circle, and that's the problem. We're here at halftime, everybody. The score is Nashua North 0, Nashua South 0.
What a surprise.
Will it end up this way? We'll let you know.
Welcome back to Stello Stadium, where we are at the Battle of the Bridge field hockey game. John Collins with Tom King. Our camera crew of Tim O'Neill, Dylan Smith, and Bruce Hillsmeyer bringing you a game that was moved up from a 6 o'clock start to a 5 o'clock start because of the threat of inclement weather, possibly even lightning. We haven't seen any yet, thankfully. We have seen a lot of the right side of the field. Now, that's probably going to shift.
Position your necks to the left. Everybody do it.
Oh, left turn.
As that's what I'm thinking we'll probably see.
North doesn't want that, of course. They want to score their first goal of the season just as much as South thought they had scored off the stick of Karina O'Donnell, but it got called back for an infraction after the wild celebration photographed by Tom King. 0-0 still. There was another goal scored from way outside the allowed striking area by Elizabeth DeRusha on a slap hit from about 40 yards out that went past Abigail O'Malley, but that also, against the rules, didn't count on the scoreboard. So both teams 0-7.
Yeah, that's common.
Scoreless.
That's common in the game, John. You see that all the time.
Yeah. Krista Reed, nice shift.
Oh, she's got to make the player open.
And a good step up and defensive
I
play.
don't believe there's an offsides rule in field hockey. It might be.
No,
I'm not sure.
the bane of your existence doesn't exist in field hockey from what I saw. It wasn't whistled earlier when it could have been. South had Erin Flaherty, number 4, their left wing, behind everybody.
I was just going to say Flaherty. I mean, Flaherty's right down here in front of us, right?
Yeah,
so,
she's going to be on our near side.
Right,
this half.
she's running across the 40.
North with their best looking attack so
They've
far in
got
the
a
game.
3-on-2, and now all of a sudden South with their defense knocks it away.
Just that quickly.
Yep.
North trying to go back on the attack. Marin Lowell, number 6, who probably has had the most touches in this game outside of DeRusha in the first half, does a nice job taking the ball away and striking it forward.
A couple sprinkles here and there,
Oh,
John. Yeah? Yep, a couple sprinkles. I'm under the overhang, so I'm all right now.
Yeah, you're our Al Roker out there.
Yeah, well, I won't be if it starts to rain a little harder.
He'll be back in.
Yeah.
South back on the attack.
I'll be your in-studio Bryant Gumbel. Does anybody remember him when he hosted Today? That's how he made his. Besides when he started in sports, that's how he made his.
Didn't he parlay
did it for years.
an ESPN job into the Today job? Wasn't he sports guy first?
I believe he went from ESPN to NBC and then from NBC Sports into the Today Show.
Yeah, and then he went back to ESPN with that. Was it the Sports Report?
No, it's HBO.
HBO. That's right. It's a good program. It's sort of like a 60 minutes type setup. They go in depth on a lot of stuff.
Yep.
South with an opportunity here. This looks like a penalty corner, and it is. 5 players for North will go into the goal. Everybody else, except the South attackers, will clear out to the other side of the field. Opportunity, goal-scoring opportunity for the Panthers. DeRusha with it. Slides it. Lowell's shot. Deflected.
There's a chance right here.
In front. North does a good job of clearing, and that ends the corner.
And what they did was they bunched the middle and prevented South from getting any kind of clear shot. It was a great job defensively.
Yeah, they definitely picked the right spot to clog up and prevented South from getting any kind of a shot on on Abigail O'Malley, who's now to our left after facing intense pressure for the first 30 minutes of the game match.
So our next Battle of the Bridge event will be Wednesday night with North-South volleyball just down the street at Nashua South. North at last look was unbeaten.
Wow.
So, and then the soccer doubleheader on Thursday. And what's significant about that is it's the rematch of that great semifinal game last year between North and South. Oh, here's a chance.
By
and a save. Big save by Abigail Adams. The ball was just knocked right away.
Another one pops up in the air. Looks like a glove save by Abigail O'Malley.
2 great saves.
Abigail O'Malley swatting that one out of the air.
To keep things in check. But I was going to say, in soccer, John, South just had their unbeaten streak of 24 games halted on Friday when it lost to Manchester Central 5-1.
Wow, big outburst by Central.
That would have made it even better. I mean, they both have games tomorrow, but that would have made it even better if they both won and go into that game with South still having that unbeaten streak.
So tell me, is Central that good, or was that like a one-off?
No, I haven't seen Central. Friday's a football day for me, so I looked at Central. They lost to Bedford in their opener, and North beat Bedford 2-0 the other night. So
explain that one.
Yeah, so just a Central being up for a team that won the championship and beat them last year.
Sure.
That's how you explain it.
I like the fact they're using that bright orange ball. Thank you, whoever invented that.
It's the old street hockey ball, right?
Yeah, a little Milek action.
Here's another break for South. And
the player that's been a stalwart defender for North in the middle, number 19, Sarah Weintraub. She's a junior. She's stymied a couple of would-be goal-scoring opportunities for the Panthers. Titans wearing their Carolina blue tops, defending the goal to the left and south. It looks kind of like
some have gray, some have gray, some have white.
Okay.
Again, South playing
for. That's going to be
South playing
North ball, apparently.
In memory of Jenna Schiavelli, who passed away last month due to brain cancer, and she was a player on Nashua South, I believe, 2019, but I can't.
Not long ago.
Yeah, not long ago. Graduate.
Sarah Weintraub, kind of a miss-hit. Elizabeth DeRusha is going to intercept.
Might have been sooner than that. I mean, not sooner, but further back a couple years, but I'm not positive.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
We've called the name. So.
Yeah.
Ball goes wide, and it'll be North with it clear. 8:42 remaining third quarter. No surprise, scoreless. The overtime, if they do have to play one, will be very interesting when they remove. I believe, what are they now? They're 7-on-7, I think.
Oh, they shift to a white ball now.
Yep.
Maybe it's a little bit of yellow in it. I don't know.
Depending on where the ball went last time.
The London 2012 Olympics started a new trend for blue field hockey pitches because blue turf helps TV viewers clearly see the ball and markings on the pitch during game play.
White against blue.
Not all field hockey pitches have to be blue, but a yellow ball on blue turf is now the standard for pro field hockey tournaments.
There's a chance right here.
Yes, they're trying to squeeze it in near side.
Yep.
And we have
maybe a corner.
A corner, yeah. Of course, field hockey also affords the possibility of a penalty stroke, which is right in front of the goaltender one-on-one, but we haven't had one of those yet.
No, and it's just like a penalty kick in soccer.
Yes.
The odds are about 90-10.
Yes,
Here's
in favor of
another
the goal
ball.
scorer,
There's a
right?
rebound.
Loose, and it's in!
Net, it's in.
And I think it's going to be Marin Lowell that gets credit with it, the left winger. Or was it number 4? She's being hoisted right now. It is, I think maybe it's number 4. We talked about that offside rule. And it is number 4 for South. That is Erin Flaherty that scores the season's first goal.
Yep.
Wow. And that was a case where I think Abigail O'Malley kind of drifted away from the goal line a little bit, and then the scrum ended up being behind her. And it was Erin Flaherty that escorted the ball over the goal line, and after all that pressure,
with
3/4 of it just about.
7:18 left, I believe.
Yeah.
All that pressure, you saw it, right? You saw it all start to form a little bit.
Dam finally broke.
Yeah.
And South comes up with a goal. There's a first touch in a while, if not in the entire game, for Caitlin Tello. South goaltender kicks one aside.
All right, John Collins, it's starting to get a little drizzly out here, so in I go.
So it seems like it was a good call on the weather to get this one started earlier, as it does still have 6 minutes of the third quarter and I'd say about 15 of the last quarter to be played. But unless North can score, we might have just averted the overtime setup that we were talking about. It might not be necessary. North has other ideas. They do want us to see overtime. Looking for that equalizer.
No, they'd like to win it in regulation.
That's true too, right? Ideally.
Overtime.
Yeah. North benefits from that whistle.
It is a damp, drizzly atmosphere right now. It was dry for most of the game, and now the drizzle is starting to kind of pick up a little bit.
Yep. Elizabeth DeRusha pushing it, dribbling it, past one defender, past another. DeRusha doing a nice job of dribbling, and then a big, long slap hit.
Yeah, she's taking batting practice during this game.
Seriously.
She whacks it.
So the slap hit is out of bounds, though, off of South, so retrieving it. The Titans will take it in from the sideline. About 60 yards wide here on the pitch for field hockey.
Yeah, they've got to find an open player. And, yeah, that's where I would go, too, right across
DeRusha's right there and taken away. Yeah. Nice play by North's defender.
That's great stick work.
Definitely.
Let's see what the number is, John. I can't. Number 1 or 3? Can't tell.
I think we had 3, 1, and 11 all involved in there.
Yeah.
Rachel Riddell is 3. Erica Roy is 11, and Molly Ducharme number 1, and they teamed up to turn aside the South attack and get the ball past the halfway stripe. The offensive zone possession here for the Titans. Seem to step up their offensive game immediately after getting scored on.
Often happens.
Yeah, a sense of urgency went up. They saw that goals can be scored by Nashua team. And that's a nice hit in the middle by Krista Reed. What a pass. Collected. We don't have number 10 in our roster, unfortunately. She's been doing a great job getting a lot of touches. Let's see how this whistle goes. This could be big. It is going to go against the
Titans.
Titans, I think.
Yep.
Yes. So optimal possession here for South. The hit in the middle.
There's another open shot.
It's making its way. That's
Kicked
a
out.
kick save. A lot of players trying to get possession in the striking area, and it goes out of bounds off of South. So the way they do this, they come perpendicularly out for 15 yards, the top of that strike zone there, and that's how they do inbound play in field hockey. Perpendicular to where it went out over the end line. Quick steal by South, the first tripping call of the game, I think. 2 minutes in the box.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, not in field hockey. Just resume play. That goes against the Panthers. Might have been a curve stick touch.
Some kids from other sports have shown up to watch. As the crowd picked up a little bit just as the weather went downhill.
Do they really take Tuesday off, or are we just not covering something that's going on?
Yeah, golf is on Tuesday,
Golf on
and it's a
Tuesday.
multi-team event at Nashua Country Club, so it's...
Did I stumble onto bass fishing as a high school sport?
It is. It's been a high school sport for a while now, and
Wow.
for a few years. But this is the first year I've seen Nashua North and South have teams.
I did a double take on that
Yeah.
one. I said, wow, I guess Tom and I will be out by the lake pretty soon. And with Tim. Tim was like, how do I shoot this?
Right.
I can't even see the fish.
We'll be on the yacht.
We'll be on the Nashua
Yeah.
ETV yacht.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure Pete's got that all set up. Pete Johnson, our executive producer, who's used to having yachts. He goes on enough junkets, right?
Yes.
So do you.
That's true. Speaking of that.
Yeah, it's our first game together this fall, John. We're about 3 weeks in.
That's true.
John, you've missed some good football, but not much. I'll tell you that right now.
Right. I've been tracking it.
I
and,
haven't seen
per
very-
your special section football thing that I have. I cherish in my kit, my preparation.
So do
kit.
I. The schedules and everything
You
else.
call it North was going to be good.
Well, North is going to be good, but are they good? You know, that's the
Championship
thing,
good.
right?
Yeah.
But
of course, we
when we
covered
do
the
the
championship season.
When we do the football game on, well, I don't think they're anywhere close to
Not
that
to that team, no.
But when we do the football game on Friday night, it's ironic both teams are going to be in the same spot that they were a year ago. South 0-3, North 3-0.
Yeah. I mean, we usually talk about throw the records out for those rivalry games.
I did 3 games, including 2 here at Stellos. Not this past weekend, the weekend before, second week of the season, September 9 and 10. Another game was at Campbell. The combined score of the 3 games was 135 to 27.
Ooh.
So it's just, there is a trend where it's haves or have-nots, and there's nothing in between. And it just really lends to some bad football out there that has got to be solved somehow. Girton against Goffstown on Saturday, 68-7. That's the end of the third quarter, everybody. 1-0 Nashua South, they scored.
68-7?
68-7.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And believe me, the starters were gone midway through the second quarter. It was 61-7 at the half. But starters were all gone. All gone.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That disparity thing, that happens
a
a little too often.
It's getting bad in
And
football.
Alvern has gone from Division 1 to 2 and
don't
back
get
to 1.
Don't get me started on that, John.
Sorry.
Don't
My
get me
hometown
started.
at the moment.
There's
and,
there's your orange ball right there.
Yeah,
down
good.
there.
Keep it in the game.
I talked to Tarek Roth at the beginning of the season, in the preview, and he, and in fact I did a story in that preview tab. You should read it.
Yeah.
Where Tarek said that they made the decision to stay in 1 because they wanted to create the odd number of teams to force a change, and they have forced a change. But in my opinion, Auburn should have never been forced to go down to one a couple of years ago. They were in a perfect situation for them. They were competitive.
Yeah.
They had built up some good rivalries in 2 years with Hollis, with
Yep.
Milford, with Sauhegan in the area. And the NHIA's vision of them is that they pulled a fast one because they made it to the finals and the semis. Well, they had a good quarterback, Kyle Gora, a generation for them, a generation player, a player who they normally don't have. And all you have to know is that Auburn athletics in team boys sports, not including track, has not won a state championship since 1973. So please, all right, let's not be ignorant.
I didn't know it was
And
that long.
there are several people involved in NHIAA football who are ignorant when it comes to what has been going on in Auburn over the years. And if there's any team that should have been remaining or gone down, and all you also have to know is they haven't won a game in one since they were brought back up. I mean, what more evidence do you need? You know, it's foolish for them to be in one. I feel bad for Tarek Roth because I thought he had done a good job, and he admitted to me that there are some kids that didn't return to the team this year because they were going to be playing Division I football. That's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sorry I took you off on that tangent because I know you're well versed in the subject and you wanted to share some
You
knowledge.
talk to administrators, you talk to some coaches, and they'll tell, oh, they did this and that. No, you know.
Yeah.
You got it wrong.
South with it. Commissioner Tom King,
Yep.
I nominate you.
Oh, I tell you, be a lot of changes if I was in charge.
South looking for goal number 2 to, in fact, put this game away.
Including no night games. Everything in the day.
Night games.
Everything in the day.
Yeah. Saturday afternoon football, you mean?
Well, I mean, John, I'll tell you what, it's a good thing. Tim O'Neill, it's a good thing we did not do the South Wyndham game a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Because on a weekend, Saturday afternoon, temperature down on the field had to be 95 degrees.
Oh. I thought you were going to say because of the score.
And think of what it would have been, if we, you would have had the AC on, but you still would have had a window open. What it would have been up here. Well, the score was bad too, 44-13. That was one of those games
One of those games. One-sided.
Yeah. And that was a surprise. I thought it would be a competitive game.
Right.
South's struggling this year with some inexperience. Oh, here's a chance
Elizabeth
right there.
DeRusha loves those big
loves
hits.
those big hits, I know.
And they're not whistling it, so why not? I mean, you shift the field.
And then Adams has got to come on.
O'Malley.
O'Malley's got to come over and kick the ball away.
Yep.
For a
She's had
save.
a few kick saves, a swat.
She's got
One goal got behind
six
her.
saves, and I've got counted.
Right. She had a big one in the first half. Coming a bunch here.
So
South keeping the pressure on.
Yeah, there's a long hit for South, or a long possession. Now they'll get it back to DeRusha, and she will make the long hit, but she tops it.
Yep, she saw a defender in front of her. Probably figured she'd get whistled on that particular try. And thought better of it. It makes its way through over the end line.
Over the stick.
Yeah, it was Krista Reed, I think, on the far side over there.
13:05 left in the game. It's 1-0 Nashua South. The Battle of the Bridge. South leads it. Ooh, that's an airborne shot. If that's not a dangerous hit, I don't know what is.
It goes in.
You ever gotten hit with one of those things?
Oh, no, thank you.
It hurts.
Oh, I believe it.
I have.
You have.
I have in the foot.
Taking photos?
In the foot. Taking photos behind the net. It hurts. Yeah.
Did you shake it off? Did you walk it off?
Trainer asked me if I wanted ice. I said no.
Wow. You are a warrior, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Nice job.
You know the old George Carlin skit about cats when they get hurt and then they go into the corner. They're cool as a cucumber.
Oh, yeah?
Then they go into the
shaking?
corner and he's got an expletive with it, meow, right? They yell out. So
that's how you felt?
Yeah.
Oh, Krista Reed, the turnaround, it's right
goal.
there. Goal number 2 for the Panthers.
Empty goal right there. O'Malley out of position because of the situation.
They had 2 players camped out at the post, and it's almost like the shell game. I see the player that scored. She's trotting towards
the 40-yard line
Yeah,
right now.
that's her right there.
And now she's at the 50. Turn around at number 10, I believe. Let's
Number
see.
17, a
okay.
diminutive winger, but came up big there. Parikh.
She's been out there. She's not too diminutive. I've seen her out there trying to make a couple plays.
Number 17, class of 2023, a senior getting a field hockey goal here in the Battle of the Bridge game. And she's getting congratulated by the entire bench as she comes to the sideline. A timeout called by North, 2-0. Nashua South gets their first 2 goals of the season, even after getting one erased.
Yeah, O'Malley was basically
earlier.
left on an island. I mean, everybody else was up, and then South got the ball in quick. And
I tell you, another Darusha strike got that started, that little flurry.
Yep.
Putting it in play. I think North needs to do some of that. Somebody needs to just hack it into the strike zone area and maybe generate some offense. What do you got for rainfall here?
Yeah,
making some noise.
Well, look, John, look at the light stand. Look, go across the way.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it's the drizzle that is being blown
right
through. It's all coming.
The obligatory TV shot of the lights with the rain coming down. It always makes it look worse than it is, but sometimes it is bad. Let's see. We have our crew here, Tim O'Neill, who is supervising. Dylan Smith and Bruce Hillsmeyer are with us tonight. Glad to have them. And one of the staples of sports telecasting is the shot of the light tower with the rain coming down. And if you can capture it, beautiful. This is on delay, our monitor, so we'll be able to see the fine work of Bruce here in a second.
Bruce Hillsmeyer can do it. He'll get it,
I just don't want to see any jagged light shows here because that could put a wrench in things with 12 minutes left to go. Sorry. Is that like talking about a no-hitter?
I don't think we got to worry about it.
Okay. Tom King.
I think we'll be okay.
/ Al Roker says don't worry about it.
We got 12 minutes and 13 seconds left, right?
Yes.
It'll go by running time. Well, I mean, running time, I feel like always is the case, unless somebody calls timeout. So, like they just did now.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't go that way with the ball. Why don't you hit it the other way? I don't know. Are you allowed to? South and back on the attack. Parikh, who just got that goal with possession in the corner, out of bounds off of South. So North will take it. I'm corrected. It's South ball still. Elizabeth Darusha is going to take it to the middle, and guess what? She's probably going to whack it into the middle of traffic. And South's going to try to from goal number 3 here. It's loose. It's in front, and it's kicked at. Abigail O'Malley, there's a lot of South players going for it in the scrum, and finally a whistle blows the play dead.
Amazing, isn't it?
Wow, you wonder how come that didn't end up in the back.
Remember,
of the
she had
cage.
never played goal before. She has done a fantastic job with what she's got to deal with.
This one's going to go out of bounds, and it steps up in intensity. Some non-umbrella fans are making their way to shelter. Far sideline. Darusha's strike gets whistled this time as it went past a North defender. Waist high. I think that was Savannah Bassford, number 4. Saw that hockey ball whistled past. Just looking at YouTube field hockey tutorials, Tom, and one of the things they teach is a scoop shot, and I don't see anybody using that. It's kind of like you put the stick on end and flick the ball up in the air over everybody, and that's not considered a dangerous shot if you do it in the right spot, like a lob in tennis, sort of, into space. But it's also a skill. It's difficult to do in the course of play. Attempted centering pass there by South goes off of a North defender, and that's going to be Oh, a penalty
It's
kick?
going to be
a
long,
penalty corner?
I believe it's a long hit for
Or
Nashua
maybe.
South, or is it a corner? No,
It's
they're
a
going to go.
penalty
They're going to go
corner.
work back. The way they're set up in the goal, it's
Yep.
going to be a corner.
Right. So opportunity knocking again here for the Panthers, who have the luxury of being up 2-0. A game we were worried that maybe nobody would score again. There's a shot by DeRusha that's going to go wide to the left and get that orange ball back in the game. Oh, they don't want it.
Nope.
Going for the lucky ball.
Yep.
We want it.
Yeah, we definitely. Yeah, we definitely want it. Yeah.
We got that ball mic'd.
It's right there. We need right there.
We need to play. Oh, we wish we did. Elizabeth DeRusha, the player of the game for, I mean, she doesn't have a goal, but.
She started a lot of possessions.
Yes.
That's
the anticipation is great.
Right.
She's always in the path of the North's breakout attempts.
Yep. She's athletic enough where she, can body off the other player.
There she is again.
Right.
And moves it, advances it.
Remember, you got to hit with that
flat
side of the flat side of the stick.
Yep.
So.
Erin Flaherty, who got the first goal, is over there with Parikh, who got the second goal.
Dribble through.
Krista Reed almost had a chance, and looked like Krista Reed got body checked.
What we got called here.
Yeah, so
penalty corner.
Yeah,
right.
I think Krista's.
I was thinking they might call something else.
It could have been a penalty stroke. You think?
I didn't know. I mean, it was trying to, see the signal.
Maybe that's like you have to be breaking in by yourself.
They have them. They're enough games this year where they've had them.
Good job by North defensively there to shut down that penalty corner, namely Molly Ducharme, number 1, as the field hockey players play on. Just not even a hint of worrying about the rain.
Nice touch on that dribble. Just basically just lifted it over the stick.
She gets that. She's favored by that whistle, and now South with the chance in the middle, and that's deflected. It's still loose.
O'Malley, I mean, how did she ever see it on the bounce? And she got it.
And
another kick save.
Another try.
She's got 10. Another shot from the corner. No.
Who's going to get a shot on goal and square it up? Nope. It trickles through and out of bounds off the Panthers.
Credit Abigail O'Malley. She had to see that ball up in the air and decipher where it was going to land and bounce. She got that, knocked it out, and then made 2 other saves after that. She's got 10 in the game.
That seems to be, that's the end of the timeout. Somebody called timeout? No. It's North's ball. North's ball.
Running.
Yep.
That clock's got to be running.
Well, that seemed to be right there. That flurry seemed to be evidence of what you said earlier about less whistles these days.
Yes.
I mean, that ball was up high a couple of times, and they let him play, which I like.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Elizabeth DeRusha wound up right there. She's probably fortunate that she didn't connect, because it looked like it was labeled for one of the North players.
If this score stays as is, Nashua South will own a 4-1 lead in Battle of the Bridge. And I'm not sure when the JV field hockey game is being played. I don't know if it's played after this or probably not after this, because that's why this game started at 5 instead of 6.
What are the 4?
The 4 will be this field hockey game and 3 cross country, 2 varsity, girls and boys, and then one of the varsities and 2 JV out of the North Invitational meet that had a JV meet as well. So South won both genders in JV cross country, and they also, the boys won overall. They won the North Invitational, beating out a field of, I think, 15 teams on Saturday.
Molly Ducharme with a great rush off the side of the cage.
Of the net.
Oh, she's upset with herself.
Yeah, that's the best chance. Best open look that Nashua North had with 5:20 to play there.
Wide open field now as South shifts the momentum immediately. And here comes Marin Lowell on the far sideline. She's got Parikh. Parikh camped out in front by herself. And a shot and a kick save.
What a save.
Tremendous. Abigail O'Malley.
Unbelievable. 1-on-1.
No defenders in the picture except
all
for the
that
goaltender.
room with the cage, and O'Malley and that was an authoritative save. You see how far that ball went when she kicked it?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
because,
it was a great save.
There was some more attackers descending on her, and there was no rebound for them. That ball was out of there. On the other side, great setup by Marin, number 6, Marin Lowell, class of 2025, a sophomore there, number 6, has had a great game.
There's another situation in front.
Parikh trying for her second goal right there, number 17, right in front. And that is definitely proof they don't have the soccer offsides in field hockey.
Yeah.
She was just waiting,
She was
like
just in
Espo
front all
down
along.
there, just hanging in the street hockey game. Centering pass, good defense by North as they swat it away. Under 4 minutes to go in this field hockey match, 2-0. South leads North. Both teams were 0-7 coming in, and South on track to lead with a victory here tonight.
You know what? I don't think there was a JV field hockey game. North doesn't have a JV.
Yeah, middle school only, I guess. We saw him play at halftime.
Yeah, so no JV game.
Right. And with the numbers challenge that you mentioned, you can see they draw on the freshman class immediately.
Yep.
For this sport. Probably one of the attractions to play if you're a freshman.
Let me tell you who's also drawn from the freshman class immediately, Nashua South football.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have a freshman receiver.
Getting him right out there?
Good game, yeah.
We're looking forward to seeing him on Friday night.
Very young. Joshua Tripp, number 42.
Nice.
Scored a touchdown the other night. Pass that nobody from Merrimack could defend because Tripp is taller than everybody else. And Merrimack's corners are
How tall is he?
I'm not sure.
He's a freshman?
He's got to be 6, over 6.
Good for him.
Kyle Emmons for South. He's one of their better players. He's a sophomore. Young team, John. I mean, they got some seniors, but first-year senior quarterback, so a young team.
This might be an unrealizable ideal, but you were talking about how you fix a disparity in teams like that. To me, it's 3 guys you need. You need a great quarterback and 2 great receivers. I think you can flip the balance.
You got to have the lines, John. You have the people up front. That's where you win the games. That's why Bishop Girton is so good this year. Well, they are good. Yeah. They also have a great quarterback who can run.
Yeah.
And a great and a running back who's been hurt off and on, but you got to have the beef up front. And they have to be experienced beef. In other words, they've got to know exactly how to block and how to pull and everything else. So shot hits the side of the cage.
Or things fall apart quickly.
We are under we're under a minute and a half to play here at Stellos Stadium. It's picked up with the rain. All you have to do is take a look down at the the area right, the stairway right behind the south bench. It's bouncing out back. Of course, yours truly did not bring an umbrella this time. Should have.
Long walk back to the car, Tom.
Yeah.
In the rain. What you do for Nashua TV. Under a minute to go. We got our goal, and we got another bonus goal. 2-0. South's going to take a win out of here and add to the Battle of the Bridge total here in 2022. We'll be back outside on Thursday for soccer. Looking forward to that. Volleyball Wednesday night and football on Friday here at Stellos. Battle of the Bridge, North versus South.
All right, John Collins, down I go. We will see you Wednesday night for volleyball.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Tom King. As we count it down, 5 seconds remaining in the match. And it's a South 2-0 victory and celebration here at Stellos Stadium. 2 goals that were a long time coming, and preserving yet another shutout against North is goaltender Caitlin Tello of South. So congratulations to the Panther girls field hockey team for their 2-0 victory here tonight. For Tim O'Neill, Dylan Smith, and Bruce Hillsmeyer, our camera crew, and Tom King, I'm John Collins, thanking you for watching and saying good night from Stellos Stadium, everybody.